Disgaea 2. Oh, I love this game so much. It's one of my favorite strategy RPGs ever created. So today I'm going to spend just a few minutes gushing over this amazing sequel. So after not having played this game in so many years, I was more than just a little giddy to get back into the Netherworld after being absent for so long. My first experience with this game, as well as the entire series, came a few years back. After hacking my PSP, something that everyone seemed to be doing at the time, I played so much of the PSP library, I ended up going through PS1 games thinking that I had seen all there was. I ended up stumbling upon a little game called Rhapsody, a musical adventure. A pretty standard SRPG now that I think back. However, it did have one standout feature: the musical numbers.
They are there to help me make my dreams come true. And once you get to know them, they just might help you too.
Yeah, these cheesy songs that broke up the cutscenes, turning Rhapsody into less of a game and more of a school play your parents begrudgingly sat through just to see your one minuscule part as the tree in the background. Even so, something about it was actually pretty endearing, and after that I had to know the studio that would make a game like this. And thus, my love for NIS was born, and Nippon Ichi Software. I love these guys. Now as to why I picked Disgaea 2 over 1? I don't know, I guess you always think that the sequel will be the superior experience. And while I wasn't wrong, I do wish I had experienced it from the beginning and not bridged the gap with the anime, which we don't talk about the anime. Now, Disgaea 2 takes place in the Netherworld, basically this game's idea of hell. A young man named Adele is trying to help his village return to their human forms, after they were transformed by Xenon's curse. For some reason, hint hint, he wasn't affected by this phenomenon, thus forcing him to be the saviour. Even more so since the morals of the people around him are slowly withering away. More so his adopted mother, who is probably one of the best characters in the game, despite her limited screen time.
Yeah, that's enough complaining. We need to sacrifice some life in order to summon Overlord Xenon. Besides, you're all demons. It's a year or two off your life. You'll probably spoil them anyway. What? Don't you want to be human again? Do you want all my hard work over the last 15 years to go to waste?
But me and Tarda were born demons. We don't care about being human.
Oh, ho. Shut up, brat. Mommy still wants to be human again. So be a good little sacrifice now.
To cut it short, Adele's mother creates a potion in order to summon the Overlord Xenon, and allow Adele to beat him, lifting the curse. However, instead, Rosalind, Xenon's daughter, is inexplicably summoned in his stead. Now Adele must travel with her in order to find and defeat Xenon, meeting foes and allies along the way. So the story is very typical, developing a basic hero's quest, but there's enough quirky dialogue and character interactions to make the game stand out from its contemporaries. The banter between Adele and Rosalind is especially cute, and spoilers for a decade-old game, you can see why the two end up falling in love. Not all is good with the characters, as Tink is there to ruin a lot of my enjoyment. He's some sort of French toad, because I guess the French eat frogs or are seen as frogs. I've seen the joke enough times to see it as some sort of joke. He's also a pervert and just general womanizer and an overused trope even in anime back then. But it is revealed that he is not only split into two personalities, one being the lecherous one I hate, and another being very calm and polite for a demon anyway. So he has been put into a curse which has turned him into a frog. Not that there's much difference between his frog and human-like appearance. Then there's also Yukimaru, who is a shinobi. Yeah, she is very much a Naruto ninja. And she isn't bad, but she comes so late into the game that you kinda just forget about her. But her little plot with her brother does bring some closure to the story, but she's really not an integral part of the plot. I also can't get over the fact that she says Zam so much. I know Disgaea always has that one character that seems to say some random quip, whether it be Zam, dude, or plip. there's always something. It's probably a translation thing, but it definitely just sounds weird in English. And then there is my boy Adele, the Disgaea 2 protagonist. Despite many people telling me how lackluster and boring he is, he's perfect. I love him. It's mostly carried by his vocal performance. I can't pronounce this guy's name, but I'll try. Shiloh Strong was the perfect actor for this role, and it's a shame he's not in more stuff. He probably moved on to bigger and better things, but what I wouldn't give to hear him voice Adele again. Seeing these randos that NIS keep hiring and throwing them in the booth just don't cut it. He had the perfect Adele voice. And then there's Rosalind. She's a cute little addition, and it's nice to have a canon relationship in the series. Yep, she is snarky and her personality reminds me a lot of Etna, but I find Rosalind a bit more acceptable, just because despite that, she is genuinely a good person who doesn't abuse everyone around her. And spoilers, she's Overlord Zenon. I know, I just thought I'd throw that in there, but I mean, it's pretty obvious from the start, as she was summoned in place of Overlord Zenon. You know, it just kind of makes sense. But yes, she is the powerful demon Overlord Zenon. There are other characters, but these two are the main ones you'll be focusing on. Either way, the characters are supplementary to the overall and well-crafted gameplay. As mentioned before, I first got into the series by Disgaea 2's PSP port, which added a lot of extra features, including Axel mode. Now, who's Axel? Well, he's the best secondary character in this game, being the comic relief. But unlike Tink, he's actually likable, and this mode develops his backstory, making you even more sympathetic towards him during the main game. But being a portable game, it suits Disgaea so much better, and it's what appealed to me at first when getting into this series. I don't think I would have liked Disgaea as much if I had started with the PS2 original. I wouldn't have the time to sit down and play it. I just wouldn't be as invested as I was with my portable system that I could lie in my bed and play all during the night. Now, Disgaea is known for its flashy combos and specials. It's probably what all of you know the game for, even if you haven't played it. And while those are cool, it's the tight gameplay and leveling system that really drew me in. To this day, I really can't go back to the first Disgaea. I know I'm jumping around here, but you have to hear me out. The ugly graphics and extremely slow gameplay really hold it back from being an extraordinary game. Even if the story may be considered the best in the series, or at least that's what the consensus is online, it isn't to me, but that's what's been told. Even after the complete remake came around, it seemed to follow the frames set out by the original, meaning it was just as slow and cumbersome as the first game, despite the graphical overhaul. I say overhaul, but the same sprites have been seen in past games, including Disgaea 4 and 5, so not really much of an overhaul, but obviously it looks better than the PS2 and PSP versions. The sequel doesn't suffer from this issue though, because these sprites have much more animation and detail, making each character look like the actual art presented by Takehito Harada. If that's how you say his name, I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher these Japanese names. Of course, now games like D2, 4 and 5 have perfected the aesthetic, but in terms of traditional sprite work, Disgaea 2 had the best in the series. And now onto gameplay, which I had mentioned before. The gameplay moves at a blistering pace, even without turning off the animations. You can choose to skip all the special effects from both you and your enemies, or if you still want to watch them and choose to move all your units, you can have them attack in a single turn, something that I really love and really appreciate. Having both being able to end your turn and simultaneously use all your moves is perfect. I don't have to waste many hours or many seconds, just going through these menus. Not wasting any time with anything. I'm not really the type of person to talk about the intricate details of a game, because I like to play Disgaea as a casual experience, just going through the story and leveling up when I need to. But if you're more hardcore, there's plenty to sink your teeth into. Each character can be leveled up to 9,999, a Disgaea staple, before proceeding to reincarnate them, which is a mechanic that basically starts your character back at level 1, but with all their stats carrying over from that level 9,000 or whenever you decided to reincarnate them, which is a really cool feature that more games should incorporate. You can also visit the Dark Court to get bills approved and to add special bonuses, such as extra experience and adding more characters, as well as items. Even individual weapons can be leveled up in this game through the item world. By picking an item, you can travel up its floors. Yeah, that's right, you go inside of the item. And for each floor you pass, the weapon gains 1 level. I personally didn't really use this apart from the one mandatory time that every Disgaea game has, mostly because it's too easy to lose all your progress and have to start from the beginning, and I'm not really a fan of that. Although you can use the mist against the exits to escape early. But this is really something I have to appreciate even if I don't personally use it, especially because they fixed that one glitch from Disgaea 1 that led to a lot of people being stuck on floors that you could not get past no matter what. So it's great that they do that for the players. So pro tip though, make sure you always go to the hospital and heal your party. After certain thresholds, you'll be gifted in a form of muscles and other items, but they're all status buffs and they are great. These greatly increase your strength as well as your HP. You can stack these things up really quickly and get a strong character very early on. It's even better if you keep exiting the shop, waiting for the rare symbol to appear, which will give you even more bonuses. And that is basically Disgaea 2. I mean, there's a lot more I can talk about. I mean, I've already spoiled most of the game for you, but trust me, it's worth playing for yourself. I love this game just so much, and I would love for a remake to come about. Not the Disgaea PC port, I mean a full-on remake in the same vein as Disgaea 1 Complete, but just better. With all the graphics overhauls, maybe even bringing the voice actors back, because I need to hear Shiloh Strong just one more time, because why is this guy only in this game and maybe one Tales game? What happened to this lad? He is amazing. All I can say is if you have a chance, buy Disgaea 2 wherever you can. Buy the PSP version, play it on your PSV, or go buy the PS2 original. Do whatever you can to support this game because Disgaea 2 is the best in the series by far. If you liked the video and would like to recommend a future topic, I'd love to hear it. Type something in the comment section below because I always love to read your comments. And if you can, tell me what you think about Disgaea. What's your favorite Disgaea game? Have you ever played the series? Has this video made you get into the series? Comment anything you can down below. I love to read it. And as always, I have to say goodbye.